recall waking up for today around 12:30 in the morning. And getting up within an hour of that. Around 8 in the morning, I had a whole can of Wegmans generic branded Italian wedding soup. With all of the leftover corn mixed in. Yeah, my dad mixed it in. There wasn't that much corn left over at the time. But it was still a good addition. I had that with my first cup of plain coffee for today. And I recall having 2 full cups and a partial third cup. The third cup being maybe about a third to halfway full. Had that coffee. From 8 in the morning to around 11 in the morning. Then around 1:30 p.m., Dad and I left the house, and we were out for the rest of the afternoon and for the early evening hours. We first stopped by my mom's place. To get a few pairs of underwear. And to look for my wallet. And my mom found it after a few minutes of looking. It was somewhere in my room that I hadn't looked at yet. After doing some searching in my room, my mom found it when I went downstairs to look for it. Yeah, this piece of bread is part of a full salty French bread. By this local pizza place called Salty Bread. I cut this piece off of the loaf. It tastes pretty good. Speaking of which, we ate at Salty Bread after visiting my mom. During that visit, I also got a 60-pack of Sharpie markers that was part of my Christmas gift, since it comes with a mystery marker I probably don't already have. Bought it over from my mom's place to my dad's place. When we got back from what we did during the afternoon and early evening hours. While at Salty Bread, me and my dad both had a slice of their specialty pizza of the day. A sort of baked potato pizza with toppings meant to make the pizza taste like a baked potato. Technically a loaded baked potato, with cheese, chives, and some other ingredients. And it was pretty successful. That slice of pizza did kind of taste like a loaded baked potato. Not exactly like a loaded baked potato, but it had a pretty good resemblance to it. And with the slices, we both had, if I recall, a IBC root beer. Some brand of root beer I don't recall having before. It was a small place, but it was enjoyable and the food was good. Yeah, this bread is good too. And from past experience prior to today, their pastries are pretty good too. After we went to After we finished eating at Salty Bread, we visited Dad's mom, which is where we got this soup from. Dad's mom made it, and then Dad added the sausage to it. My dad it's pretty good soup. Yeah, this is also some kind of diet cranberry ginger ale soda. Yeah, I wouldn't usually drink something like that. It's the only beverage we have currently, aside from getting tap water. Diet soda tends to contain artificial sweeteners. And I'm not sure if it's a good idea to make your body think sugar is coming when it isn't. After visiting my dad's mom, we visited my dad's dad at a nursing home. Which ended with me and my dad messing around with Alexa, the artificial assistant. With me asking about a train ticket to the moon and getting an answer that it would essentially cost a few $100s and would take 34 hours. That was funny. This being after telling Alexa to flip a coin and to throw 2 6-sided die. After visiting my dad's dad, and there was some small talk during the visits to each of my dad's parents. Primarily between my dad and the parent. Yeah, we went to the Salvatore's we always regularly go to. We were at Salvatore's roughly from 4:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Yeah, during which the magic guy came over, and at one point later on, as I was finishing the order of Buffalo Hot chicken wings that were for me, which in my case is supposed to be 10, but was really 9 because I swapped one for one of Dad's Val's jerk chicken wings. And that sauce was a wet sauce. And it wasn't a dry rub. Val's jerk. That sauce tasted sweet. And my dad's friend Maggie gave me 2 of her country sweet chicken wings, so I had a total of 12 chicken wings. 9 Buffalo Hot, 1 Val's jerk, and 2 country sweet. I spent both the hours between me getting up for today and having that soup and coffee, and I spent the hours after having that soup, between after having that soup and before we left in the afternoon, essentially drawing monochromatic triangles using 2 Sharpie markers of each color of the rainbow I established. These 2 markers of each color having a difference of 1 hue between each other. Starting from the lightest hues, using these 2 for this triangle that's right next to the yellow one, which was the second one I did. The first one being to the left of it. And I also went through my current rotation of games on Congregate, including this one Among Zombies. I'm hoping that by crafting a few of these, I'll be able to beat this campaign mission and be able to move on to the laboratory set of campaign missions. At one point today, I upgraded the sofa. Thus, I recall I went from getting 1 energy every 11.5 minutes to every 11.25 minutes now.